Welcome. I'm about to show you here the Alcima logic control board, the MC12E7. This actual model that you're looking at is the 24 volt. The board is capable of 12 or 24 volts, but I have a 24 volt singular motor here, so I'm using a 24 volt singular board. Or the transformer's 24 volt. The motor's 24 volt, and it might look like a gate, but it is a gate motor, so you'll just have to pretend as we work our way through. So what I'm going to show you shortly, you'll see what we see from power up, and this board will just ask us a series of questions. You'll see how easy it is. Zoom in on the board, we're going to power it up, and you're going to see exactly what you will see. It'll go through a warm-up process. Okay, where it's simply setting itself up. It'll detect the voltage, and so it'll know exactly what voltage you have, and it will detect that limits haven't been set and things like that, and so it'll ask you to go into iLearn, which we will do. iLearn is simply its automated learning mode, so we'll press and hold the button for 2 seconds like it asks us to. We're entering programming. Again, we're into iLearn mode. Now, we get to select what sort of gate type we got, a swing gate, sliding gate, or even a boom gate. We've got a swing gate, so we'll go back to swing gate and we'll press and release, and so it knows we've got a swing gate. Do we have limit switches, yes or no? In this case, we don't, so we're going to select no. We could have chose the other, but we're going to select no. Is the gate half open? Now, as you saw, the gate isn't half open. So we will select no, but once again, just turn the knob to select which way. We'll select no. It then asks us to press open or close buttons just below it there to set the gate at halfway. So we're going to open the gate just by holding that button. Once we release the button, the gate will stop. Somewhere near halfway, it's not that important, whether you get it exactly halfway. And release. Press the button to tell it we are now. It says to look at gate 1. It's going to open. And it's stop in a moment. It says, did the gate open? Now we could say yes or no, but in our case we're going to say yes. We're going to say it did open. Right, so we'll just press the button, but you could change motor direction right there. Now we'll start to move the gate through opening and closing sequences. It will do that about 3 times, 3 full open, 3 full close sequences. It'll give you a percentage that it's performed it, depending on the speed of your gates, the size of your gates. This may take a minute or two, but you don't have to do anything. Right? It'll just open and close to those stops, and that's why stops are so important. You've got to have them right, and it'll keep going through this process, and it's just measuring different things. It's measuring a lot of things like where the stops are, number one, the weight of the gates, the amount of power required to move the gates, and it stores all of that in memory, so that if the stops move or it encounters something midway through, it knows that that's something different, okay, and it will then adjust itself accordingly. So you just need a little bit of patience. 36% through. We got at the end of the open. Now we're going to close again. Okay, so there you see the red light for the close. And if we look back to the gates, we'll see that they're closing. At the end of this section here, it'll just take us out of this mode. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the programming that we can do with this control board. It's got something like about 70 different options you can work your way through. It's quite incredible. You will pay a little bit more for the control board because you've got so many options, and also it's much easier to program than a lot of other high-end boards, I guess you could put it. So we'll run through that briefly. I'm not going to run through all of them. I'm going to show you how to, but the manual's also very well written. It's quite easy to follow, so no big panic. Some of you may have noticed that it's actually opening faster than closing. Okay, in the next part I'm going to show you where I changed that. Okay, So the last part of the video is actually something I did before this part. And you'll see that I changed the opening speed, and that's why it is opening faster than closing. So we're nearly at the end now. And you'll see it come through. Learning is successful. The gate is closed. It's set for 24 volt motors. Okay. And we're going to go in and do a little bit of programming. So all we have to do to get in programming mode again is hold the button down for 2 seconds. It'll put us into programming mode. Now we scroll by turning left and right, so we can go through all the different sections: input functions, PE beam safety. We have output functions, obstacle detection, output modes. We also have speed modes, special features, password modes. It goes on, and you select any one of them just by pushing the button and releasing. Okay, you get right to the very end. That's the learn mode we've already done. You can exit, or you can keep turning and you'll go back to number 1, which is what we're going to do. Whereas we're going to adjust the auto close for existence. Now you press and release, now you got 1.1, you got 1.2, 1.3. They're all different auto close modes that you could alter. We'll go back and we'll change 1.1, but you could change any one of them that you wished. Okay, that exit again, turn at 1.1, press there. Okay, now by turning the button again, we're turning to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 seconds, 12 seconds, right? Or back to off. So we could have set it at any number of seconds for it to auto close. We've just still got it off. And what I also want to do, I'll go for instance up to, and I'll show you where I change that speed. So we'll go through until we find the speed functions. There we go. Alright, now we can see the opening speed is set at 80%, and I'm going to raise that to 100%, I'm sorry. So press enter, and then just simply dial it up to 100%. Once this is accepted, it will tell me that I have to relearn, because it's going faster. Okay, now I don't have to do that because you've actually seen me relearn in that mode, but that you would, if you change the speed, or some of the functions in here, you would have to. You see it's telling me the travel speed's changed, I have to do iLearning again. In this case, I don't have to, but yeah. Look, a fantastic board, very easy to work with. You pay a couple of $100 more than some of the others, but could be well worth your while. Australian design, by the way. Enjoy the board, and thanks very much for listening.